was truly a marvelous performance, Joan.
Thank you, Bob.
Joan, I think you've set a very high standard for our new MGM Theater of the Air. If we can keep it going as well as you've started it, we'll be doing a swell job.
You kidding?
No, I really mean it. And I think that right now you ought to make a curtain speech, just to give the official touch to our theater opening.
Well, Bob, you know, working in pictures, our little practice we get in making curtain speeches. But I would like to say that I'm extremely proud that I was chosen to inaugurate your MGM Theater of the Air.
Thank you, Joan. And you'll stick around for the rest of the program and say hello to some of the other people, won't you?
I wouldn't miss it, Bob.
Oh, say, Ted Pearson.
Yes, Bob?
Isn't it about time for that friendly custom of ours on these Thursday nights? The moment of relaxation over a steaming cup of Maxwell House coffee?
It sure is, Bob. But first, didn't I overhear something about you suddenly becoming a coffee connoisseur?
Oh, that. Well, I was just telling about an incident that happened a couple of days ago. I was lunching with some friends at one of Hollywood's more famous restaurants. Mm-hmm. My friends were ribbing me about some of the things I've said about Maxwell House coffee on Good News here. They bet me I couldn't tell the difference between coffee by taste.
Yes?
Well, Ted, when the waiter brought the coffee, the boys started saying how good it was. I tasted it and told them, of course it was good. It was Maxwell House. I could tell by the flavor.
What was it?
Well, the funny part of it was that this restaurant hadn't been serving Maxwell House. The boys knew it and called the waiter over to prove I was wrong. When asked what kind of coffee we just had, the waiter said, Maxwell House. We just started serving it today. You can't fool young about coffee, not anymore.
You're all right, Bob. Now, friends, you're all invited, everybody, both here and at home, to join us in a cup of this coffee that's good to the last drop. Meredith, how about pouring out a little of that music for us? Now pause briefly for station identification.
You are listening to KFI, Los Angeles.
This is Bob Young continuing with the good news of 1938.
Excuse me, Bob. How do I look?
You look all right. Oh, wait a minute. You combed your hair.
Combed it? I had it cut.
Oh, so that's where you were over the weekend, in a barber shop.
Weekend? Did the whole thing Saturday afternoon. 2 men.
Oh.
How does it look in the back?
Well, I think Miss Crawford will like it. You've never met Joan, have you, Meredith?
No. I was wondering if Frank Morgan would introduce me to her. He knows her so well.
Ah, he's full of wet hay. He doesn't know Joan Crawford. Why, he's the biggest bluffer, braggart, blowhard that ever lived.
You calling me, Bob?
Uh-oh. Here's Frank now. I'm going to run out and run a comb through my hair again. I'll see you later.
Well, what's going on here, Bob? Why is Meredith all spruced up today?
He's got a reason. Say, Frank, will you tell me something confidentially?
Anything at all, Filio.
Filio. Do you really know Joan Crawford as well as you say?
Do I? Well, how well did I say I knew her?
Well, you said you'd been a good friend of hers for years.
Well, I must have been crazy. I mean, I know Joan very well. To you, she's a glamorous, unattainable creature, a star of the cinema. But to me, Joan is just a pal, a girl whom I've helped professionally, known socially, assisted financially.
Now, wait a minute, Frank. Joan Crawford never needed any financial help from you.
Well, possibly I didn't put that quite accurately. She once loaned me $1, and in due course I returned it.
I can hardly believe that either. But you really know her.
Well, every time she sees me, she gives me a big kiss.
Well, Frank, Meredith Wilson is pretty anxious to make an impression on her. Why don't you fix it up for her?
Is she still here?
Sure.
Oh.
What's the matter?
Well, I've got shooting pains in my back. I've been stabbed.
But, Frank, I thought you felt fine.
No, I never felt worse in my life. It's a recurrence of my old anurosis of the alpha delta.
Oh, well, that's terrible. Shall I get a doctor?
No, I just think I'd better go home.
No. You're not going home until you've had a showdown with Joan Crawford.
What?
You're going to stay right here and face the music. Right after Meredith plays it.
Oh, why did I ever build this house of cards?
Meredith has been playing such sensational treatments of popular songs besides his concert hall numbers that the other day I asked him who was responsible for his popular arrangements. He finally broke down and told me he made them himself. And So I respectfully call your attention to a new one, Meredith's Own Fictions of Limehouse Blues.